This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation.
The time is 8:45 p.m. This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. Here's the news edited by Dilini Gunawardena and read by Tilani Pires. The headlines. The President Ranil Wickremesinghe says that he is committed to increase the female involvement in politics. The significance of modernization to achieve rapid 21st century economic growth is highlighted. The Speaker of Parliament signs the Anti-Corruption Bill. The Power and Energy Minister, Kanchana Wijesekara, says an uninterrupted supply of power will be ensured island-wide. The import expenditure of the country has reduced. And on international news, the US say Wagner is taking advantage of instability in Niger. And on sports news, tennis, National Bank Open 2023, Katie Boulter wins to set up Coco Gauff tie. The President Ranil Wickremesinghe says that he is committed to increase the female involvement in politics. He expressed these views at the auditorium of the Presidential Secretariat meeting, a group of students from Kandy High School who paid a visit to the Secretariat. The President made the girls aware of the significance of the history and structure of the Presidential Secretariat. The students were given the opportunity to ask questions from the President as well. The President Ranil Wickremesinghe has urged the concept of modernization in a bid to achieve rapid 21st century economic growth and for the streamlining of bureaucratic systems in order to save time and assist the people. The President's media division reported the head of state made these remarks while addressing the launch of key trade facilitation initiatives in Sri Lanka and at the Shangri-La Colombo this afternoon. Accordingly, the President also said that the new Economic Commission law will ensure the timely processing of investment and trade applications. The Speaker of Parliament, Mahinda Yapa today placed his signature on the Anti-Corruption Bill, which was passed in Parliament last month. Accordingly, the legislation, which was passed without a vote in 225-member Parliament, will come into effect from today. The bill presented before the House on 6th July was passed in Parliament on the 19th of July with amendments. This news broadcast comes to you from the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation.
A comprehensive banking services package with a branded checkbook as well as debit and credit card exclusively for you.
The Power and Energy Minister, Kanchana Wijesekara, said the Ceylon Electricity Board will ensure an uninterrupted supply of power island-wide and has no plans for scheduled power cuts. He said the CEB will procure the necessary supplementary power needed to maintain a 24-hour uninterrupted supply of power. The minister further requested the public not to be misled by the political propaganda of certain parties. He expressed these views at a press conference held at the President Media Centre. The Cabinet has decided to provide the maximum water amount required for hydroelectricity generation from the Samanala Reservoir. However, hydropower generation of the Samanala Reservoir will have to be stopped depending on the prevailing capacity by the 16th of August. The Cabinet has given the green light to the proposal to purchase electricity as well. The Minister further highlighted that action has already been taken to confirm uninterrupted supply of power for the oncoming 2 years. The Minister, Dr. Bandula Gunawardena, said that the country would not have faced bankruptcy in case the Fiscal Management Responsibility Act No. 3 of 2003 had been properly adhered to. He expressed these views in Parliament today, taking part at the adjournment motion. He emphasized that continuous unbearable budget deficit is not appropriate. Minister Nalin Fernando said that the government managed the economy of the country, focusing on the imports and exports. Consequently, the import expenditure of the country has been reduced by 8% in comparison with last year. That ends local news for now.
Elevate your life with People's Bank Excelsior. A comprehensive banking services package with a branded checkbook as well as debit and credit card exclusively for you.
The main news story is brought to you by Siddhalepa Vedamahatmya.
President Ranil Wickremesinghe will deliver a special statement in Parliament tomorrow. The address of the head of state will focus on the current economic situation of the country. That was the main news story.
The main news story was brought to you by Siddhalepa Vedamahatmya.
Watch Live is brought to you by
CIB Janajaya Vasana. Unbelievable discounts and offers throughout August from CIB Janajaya Vasana. Come today itself.
And on Watch Light tonight, the National Water Supply and Drainage Board say that the water supply to many areas will be suspended tomorrow due to an essential maintenance work. Accordingly, water supply will be suspended for 15 hours from 9 a.m. to 12 midnight to the areas of Vaduwa, Vaskaduwa, Potupitiya, Kalutara North, Katukurunda, Nagoda and Bentota. Water supply will also be suspended to the areas of Payagala, Bombuwala, Maggona, Darga Town, Alutgama, Pilimanavatta, Kaluamodara and Moragolla. That was Watchlight.
CIB Janajaya Vasana. Unbelievable discounts and offers throughout August from CIB Janajaya Vasana. Come today itself.
Moving on with world news and the headlines first, the USA, Wagner is taking advantage of the instability in Niger. President Putin suspends double taxation with unfriendly countries. Brazil is hosting the Amazon summit. The U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken says Russia's Wagner mercenary group is taking advantage of instability in Niger. The country has been ruled by a junta following the ousting of President Mohamed Bazoum nearly 2 weeks ago. There have been suggestions the coup leaders have asked for help from Wagner. However, Mr. Blinken said he did not think Russia or Wagner instigated Niger's coup. The Russian state news agency RIA reported President Vladimir Putin has signed a decree suspending double taxation agreements with unfriendly countries. The measure was first proposed by the finance and foreign ministries in March. Russia regards countries that have imposed economic sanctions on Moscow in response to its invasion of Ukraine in February last year as an unfriendly country. The leaders of 8 Amazon rainforest nations are meeting this week in Brazil to tackle pressing challenges facing the critical ecosystem. Representatives from Bolivia, Brazil, Colombia, Ecuador, Guyana, Peru, Suriname and Venezuela will join the 2-day meeting of the Amazon Cooperation Treaty Organization, which kicks off in Belém. The summit comes just months after President Lula da Silva took office, promising to get Amazon deforestation down to zero by 2030. He expressed hope that the meeting will seek to draw up a common policy for the first time to protect the rainforest. Back to the world news headlines. The USA, Wagner is taking advantage of the instability in Niger. President Putin suspends double taxation with unfriendly countries. Brazil is hosting the Amazon summit. That ends World News.
Development News is brought to you by
Job opportunities from Deshakti Lanka in Kuwait, Saudi Arabia, Oman, including company housemaid, salary 156,000 rupees, 23 to 57 years. Contact 037 7500 500.
And on development news, enhancing bilateral relations and leveraging opportunities for investment were among the focus points of a business networking event with a multi-sectoral business delegation from India recently hosted by the Ceylon Chamber of Commerce at the Shangri-La Hotel in Colombo. This provided an exclusive opportunity for members of the Ceylon Chamber to explore avenues for business opportunities in both India and Sri Lanka. That came to you in development news.
Job opportunities for women from Deshakti Lanka in Saudi Arabia, Kuwait and Oman. Company housemaids, caretakers and home cooks in Saudi Arabia for ages 23 to 57 years. Salaries starting from 156,000 rupees. Interviews are now on with foreign agents. You can now travel overseas free of charge. Branches, Colombo, Kurunagala, Anuradhapura and Matara. Contact number 037 7500 500. Deshakti Lanka Foreign Development Agency.
And on sports news, the British number 1 Katie Boulter sailed through her opening match to set up a second round meeting with Coco Gauff at the WTA National Bank Open in Montreal. The 27-year-old ended the home hopes of Canadian wild card Rebecca Marino with a 6-3, 6-1 win in an hour and 6 minutes. World number 72 Boulter is yet to drop a set in Canada after previously easing through 2 qualification rounds. 6th seed Gauff had a first round bye, but fellow American Venus Williams lost 6-2, 7-5 to compatriot Madison Keys. That came to you in sports news.
Go ekak thiyana youth eකට life එකේ change එකට නියමෙට set වෙන්න ඇස් වහගෙන දැකපු ගීන හැබැ කරන්න youth එකට නියමෙට set වෙන friendship එක මෙන්න.
The all new NSB Ithru Mithru account, NSB IAM, a plan for your dream.
Business News, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
And on business news, Sri Lanka Insurance yet again outshines its own record to declare the largest life insurance bonus in the industry, amounting to a staggering 10.4 billion rupees for the year 2022 to its policy holders. Since 2006, SLIC has triumphed in declaring the highest life insurance bonuses year on year in the industry, accumulating to a massive 92.8 billion rupees, making the SLIC bonus declaration unmatchable. That was business news.
Business News, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
Go ekak thiyana youth eකට life එකේ change එකට නියමෙට set වෙන්න ඇස් වහගෙන දැකපු ගීන හැබැ කරන්න youth එකට නියමෙට set වෙන friendship එක මෙන්න.
The all new NSB Ithru Mithru account, NSB IAM, a plan for your dream.
The ambassador of Iran to Sri Lanka informed Prime Minister Dinesh Gunawardena that Uma-Oya hydroelectricity project has been completed. The Uma-Oya project will generate 120 megawatts of electricity and will release 145 million cubic meters of water to irrigate 50,000 acres of dry land. The electricity generated at Uma-Oya will be transmitted through a transmission line to Badulla, where it will be added to the national grid. That came to you in economic news. And to conclude the weather forecast, a few showers will occur in the western and Sabargama provinces and in the Gaul, Matra, Kandy and Nuwara districts. Showers or thunder showers may occur at a few places in the eastern province during the evening or night. Mainly fair weather will prevail elsewhere over the island. And now to in this news broadcast, the main points once again. President Ranil Wickremesinghe says that he is committed to increase the female involvement in politics. Significance of modernization to achieve rapid 21st century economic growth is highlighted. The Speaker of Parliament signs the Anti-Corruption Bill. The Power and Energy Minister Kanchan Wijesekara says an uninterrupted supply of power will be ensured island-wide. The import expenditure of the country has reduced. And on international news, US says Wagner is taking advantage of instability in Niger. And on sports news, tennis, National Bank Open 2023, Katie Boulter wins to set up Coco Gauff tie. That ends this news broadcast.